Let me make sure the live chat is set up so you can ask your questions live while we're right here on YouTube, or wherever you're watching this. We're able to take your questions from the YouTube channel. So please go there and subscribe. Today, while we talk about authentic lead generation, I'm going to be enjoying the Havana Seed Tabernacle cigar. Just purely delicious. Um, so let's get started. And your time is precious, and I've got a lot of stuff to do today, but wanted to make sure I came here, talked with you about authentic lead generation. It was a question we received from Sharon Brockenbow. She's doing some amazing things. If you don't know her, connect with her on LinkedIn. But let's get this conversation started, okay? So, authentic lead generation. Let's take it from the top. Um, what is lead generation? Lead generation is the process of creating an audience for the purpose of sourcing qualified leads for your sales team to then engage with, educate, um, discern need and value, and convert into real opportunities for you. Um, One of the most important things about lead gen that you need in your life, if you don't have it, we can talk about that offline. Reach out to me on Twitter or whatever your preference is. But one of the things you're definitely going to need is a CRM. Okay, very important. If we're talking about lead gen, we need to get things from prospect to lead, right? We need to get them through that funnel from prospect to lead in order to say, like, these are people who have at least a strong curiosity in who we are and what we do. So let's discern if they actually have a need or a want to buy what it is that we offer and what it is that we do. So that is what lead generation is. Um, there we go. So if lead gen is the process of building this community, building this audience from which your sales and marketing teams can sit down and say, okay, look, this person has this many clicks, their interests are here. Let's reach out to them with this product or this service and discern where they are with that. Okay, so what tools and I'm just going to cover the basic tools because I want to get into the heart of the matter. The question is, what is and how do you do authentic lead generation? So let's talk about the basic lead generation tools first, now that we've defined what lead generation is, and really go deep then into where the word authentic, where authenticity comes into play and why it's so friggin' important, right? So, basic lead generation tools are your website, right? Uh, Landing pages are for people hustling a product or a service. It's not a bad thing. It's not a curse word. Hey, how you doing? Somebody just joined us. Um, it's not a bad thing. It's not a curse word. There's a difference between a website and a landing page. Do what is best for you and your business and your product, your service, your offering. Do what is best for you. Okay, I'm not blessing or knocking either, but both can be lead generation tools. So, websites and landing pages, one. Two, LinkedIn. If you are a B2B, in other words, your product or service benefits other businesses you are selling to and building relationships with other businesses, then you need to be on LinkedIn more than any other social media platform. because that is where the global business community spends a large portion of their time discussing what's going on in business, what's going on in their industries, etc. You need to be in front of, right? Go back to marketing class in college, you covered this positioning. You need to be in front of your target, your ideal audience. So LinkedIn, if it's B2B, LinkedIn is definitely where you want to be. B2G also, if you're doing business with the government, you definitely need and can benefit from a LinkedIn account to build and maintain and manage your relationships, to find out who's talking about what's going on above and beyond the news, right? You need to be building relationships with contract officers. LinkedIn is a great place to do it, a great lead gen tool for you if you are either B2B or B2G. Now, networking, number three. So one was website and landing pages, right? Number two, LinkedIn, right? Three, networking. You personally need to be building relationships with men and women in your industry who could possibly need you, connect you to someone who does need you, period, right? Um, that kind of leads us into authenticity, but we're not going to deviate yet, right? So three is networking. Four, social media. Beyond LinkedIn, Twitter is, I would say, for professionals, the second platform you want to use as far as social media. LinkedIn is definitely number one, but Twitter's number two because unlike other platforms, you don't get exposed to anything that you aren't signing up for. One. So if you're following and interacting with business people, you're getting business conversation and discussion on your feed. Two, by following people and following topics, you control what your feed looks like. Unlike Facebook and Instagram, where you are flooded with everything your cousin did this weekend and who bought what kind of toothpaste and why their toothpaste is the best toothpaste since toothpaste did toothpaste, right? Like, who cares? Right? You might care when you're off work. You're very happy that your cousin has good hygiene, but when you are out here focused on work, you're building relationships. You're focused on your business and how you can grow it. You need to be building relationships. So LinkedIn is definitely number one, but Twitter is a good number two. And do the research for yourself. A lot of the research that I've done says the exact same thing. Four, social media. Five, PR and events. Like you, you cannot be a hermit crab and successfully climb to the top of Mount Everest, i.e., your goal, your big, hairy, audacious goal. I love that. Um, get out there. Any opportunity to speak, any opportunity to help. Just be active and be engaged, right? Now, it's funny I say be active and be engaged because that brings us to the meat of what we are talking about today. The question was, and the requested topic was authentic lead generation. So now you know what lead generation is. You know you got an idea of the tools, right? Your website, your social media, your newsletter. You should have one of those too. Your LinkedIn. You're out there networking. You're touching your relationships. You're building new relationships. What other kind of professionals could possibly identify leads for you? Are you somebody who, for example, myself? Um, I do sales turnaround projects, right? So who's going to know when revenue has been flat for 2 quarters or more? The CFO or the CPA. So they're great referral sources for me. Marketing firms are great referral sources for me because they're telling you everything about how to set up your lead gen and your messaging and getting that right, but you still need to convert it. So where does authenticity come into play with all of this? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am very glad you asked. Cigar down and let's roll our sleeves up and nah, let's not roll our sleeves up. The true new normal, and you've heard the term new normal like for the last year or more. It's almost an annoying cliche already, and it's not that old. True, but the new normal is the fall of the curtain. The new normal is the fact that people's facades, thanks to the quarantine and thanks to politics, the COVID-19 quarantine and the politics of last year have effectively served to really peel back the facades most of us have held up for a very long time. So what you're left with are jerks and genuine people. And listen, no judgment, but I love coffee. No judgment, but how much time does it save when you are your authentic self and other people are their authentic selves, right? Do you want to do business with a jerk? Do you want to do business with someone who is genuine? The emotional heightening, the heightened sensitivity that was created by the COVID-19 phenomenon has made it advantageous for you to really focus and really zero in on who you are, right? Are you a natural speaker? Do you enjoy conversing with people? Or are you a better writer? I enjoy conversing with people, which is why I blog via this YouTube platform and I talk to you and I give you the opportunity to ask questions that pop up in the little box there and we can just like engage and go. But that's who I am. That's my authentic self. While I love helping people. So for me to take the approach of close them, always be closing, well, that would be outside of myself. I am successful at selling and converting opportunities into income because I love people. I love helping. I love taking a business, their product, their service, and, you know, tweaking it, adjusting and adapting it to its greatest opportunity so it can be monetized. That is what is in your best interest. You can't plot a course from who you are and where you are to your goal if you're not clear on who you are and where you are, right? I had this conversation the other day with a dear friend. There's a difference between being an idealist and a pessimist. And we never talk about the fact that betwixt the two is the realist. You don't have to believe in fairy tales and fantasies. You don't have to run around hoping that everything turns into peach cobbler with Breyer's vanilla ice cream on top. You don't have to do that. You also don't have to, and it's really in your best interest not to, live your life wondering how much worse things can get because this universe that God created has a unique way of answering the questions in our hearts and minds. So if your heart and mind is busy wondering how bad it can get, the universe is set up to conspire to show you what you are busy looking to see. Okay? So be a realist. Be a realist about who you are, right? And those negative, hey, somebody just joined us. How are you today? Live chat is open. If you have any questions, jump on in. But who you authentically are is all you have to work with. You cannot take a pill, go to bed, and wake up and be Gary V. You can't. You're awesome enough as it is. You may need a coach. You may lack that self drive, that self motivation, that self discipline to get at your goals hard. Well, if that's all you're lacking, awesome. Get a life coach and rock out. You may have some childhood issues. You may have some self doubt. You may have some trauma, some shame that's hanging over your head where you really don't believe you can do it. Get a therapist, heal that, and work that out. Because from where you are and from who you are, your best opportunity to be your best self and do the best you can do. I'm talking Mamba mentality. I mean, look, going hard after what you say you want is easy when you were clear on who you are and what you want. The only thing in the way is the work. And that's where I want you to get to, right? So when we talk about authentic lead generation, which was a dope question to ask a sales consultant, like what is authentic lead generation and how do you do it? Authentic lead generation is you don't put on any facade, don't do any marketing tactic or any sales tactic that just doesn't resonate with you. Take, get clear on your best self, and man, take that to the world. The value that your business, your product, your service represents, why you created this thing, right, was to have an impact on the world. The money will follow. We're not going to talk about money right now. Who are you helping? How are you helping them? And can you help them if you're coming off like Fast Eddie, the car salesman? You can't. You will likely ostracize them. You will likely turn them completely off. Be yourself. The easiest way to close a sales call in 2021 is to focus on listening and learning who you're talking to and how you can help them, and then help them. That is authentic lead generation. The tools are the same, but if your marketing is of a version of you that doesn't exist, come on. Let's not do that. Look, this was a great topic. Again, a special thank you to Sharon Brockenbaugh for the question, authentic lead generation. I'm Rich Laster with GrowExpand.com, eager to talk to you and answer any questions you might have. You can hit me on Twitter at GrowExpand. Um, Hit me on LinkedIn at GrowExpand.com. Let's talk. If you have any questions, any topics you'd like us to cover in the future, please reach out. This has been good. I love digging in and just going there with you. I think authenticity is grossly underrated, but it's highly valued. It's highly valued. Go. Be great. And a word from our sponsors.